Today I fucked up by accidentally saying, "love you," to my FWB. My, 26 male, FWB, 25 female, and I met on Tinder this summer. We had both come out of LTR, so we decided to keep it casual. We have a few things in common, but we're also quite different. For example, she's very outgoing and me not as much, or she's very outspoken and never afraid to make her opinion known, while I need help sending back the potatoes when I've ordered fries. But we clicked when we matched, and even more so when we first met, and the sex turned out to be great. She had made it very clear she was only looking for something physical and nothing else. I had agreed. Fast forward to last night, we met up and things were getting hot and heavy. She was particularly kinky for some reason, and I was seriously getting into it. Then she did something she had never done before and rimmed me. My brain instantly turned to mush and I was gone. So much so that, in the heat of moment, I said, "God, I think I love you." Immediately, tongue out, and I'm sent crashing back down to earth. I knew I had fucked up and I tried to backpedal, but she wasn't having it. She kicked me out and I haven't heard from her since, even though I sent a couple texts. Too long did not read. FWB tongued my ass, told her I loved her, no more ass fun for me. Edit. I am not texting her anything else, guys. The couple I sent were literally just, "Hey, sorry about that," and "heat of the moment. I know it's over." Send one message explaining that it was a heat of the moment thing and you don't know how you feel about her, but you hate that you made it awkward. Let her know that the rim job scrambled your brain. Tell her she's good at that and then leave it. Move on. You'll find another girl who can scramble your brain with a rim job and who won't judge you for saying stuff in the heat of the moment. This is why I don't kink shame anymore. I used to look down on rim jobs until my soul was shook to my core. A woman once ate my ass so lovingly that I arched my back, grabbed the sheets, and moaned like I was her bitch. It was embarrassing. Good luck, op. You'll find another special one. I've had a few FWBs pull this on me and I've never thought to kick them out of my house. That's a little extreme. I always took it as an exclamation of pleasure, so like a pat on the back for a good job. Hope you find the right tongue for your butt, my friend. Today I fucked up by having a big ass which ruined Christmas. Hi everyone, admittedly this is a 4 days ago I fucked up, but there's no sub for that. Also, this is a throwaway as my family, friends know my main and I'm looking to avoid further fucking up. As a bit of backstory, there are 2 points that come into play with this fuck up. Too long did not read. Is at the bottom if you don't want to read the whole thing. Point 1. I have a big ass for a dude. Not fat, 6 feet 1 inch 215 pounds. But I lived in San Fran. Lots of hills, for a very long time and walked everywhere, 5-7 miles a day. Leading to very developed buns of steel. Point 2. My wife is amazing in almost every way, but gift giving isn't one. She tries hard but has a habit of getting the best version of something without realizing her version of best isn't universal. Example. For my b-day I asked for running shoes. I showed her 3-4 pairs that I had researched, tried on in store, etc. Instead she splurged for designer running shoes because they're a better brand, think Balenciaga or Prada. They look cool and I was very grateful, but the problem is they aren't actually meant to be run in and hurt to walk in for more than a few minutes. This all leads us to Christmas. My wife has been talking up a specific, big gift, she didn't say which one, for weeks. The first gift I picked was a nice billfold thing which I tried putting in my back pocket, but it didn't fit. It's just as long as a clutch but about an inch wider as well, same with the front pockets, too long. This is where the fuck up starts. She was watching me with a confused look, so I jokingly said that I had too much junk in my trunk for a billfold, but we could have matching clutches on date nights. I stopped after that because she kept watching me looking very confused and didn't react to my joke. I chalked it up to being unfunny, thanked her, told her it was lovely and I would use it when I wear a jacket. To change the subject I said we should keep going and put the wallet back in the box before looking at my wife, who I then realized was crying. I went into panic mode asking what happened and she just kept saying, I measured all of your pants and it should fit in your back pocket. I measured every pair of pants you own, I even tested. You'll never be able to use it and it's too late to return it. Thinking it was just about the return window closing, I tried to comfort her and told her it's okay. It's just a wallet. Not a big deal. I just have a big butt which threw off the measurements. Let's just move on as we both still have the big gifts left. Well, this was the wrong thing to say and she began crying harder before saying the wallet was the big gift. It is an Italian designer wallet. She spent her Christmas limit on it, and the other gift boxes were decoys. She was so upset because she thought this would be a really nice version of something I'd use daily, but she didn't take my ass into consideration when measuring, so now she didn't have anything else to give me for Christmas, and the one thing she did give me was something I couldn't use without carrying it around like a man purse or with a jacket, which I can only do once or twice a year due to how hot it is where we live. The rest of the morning was spent with her crying each time she opened a gift because she loved everything I had gotten and felt bad, which in turn made me feel like a shithead for not reacting correctly. It's been 4 days and she can't use any of her gifts without getting emotional, and IDK how I'm supposed to react here. Too long did not read. Wife got me an insanely expensive item for Christmas which I can't use as designed because she didn't take my butt into consideration when measuring. She feels shitty, I feel shitty. Christmas was tainted by my ass. Not sure how to recover here. This is cute. But it sounds like your wife is hooked on overpriced designer goods if she keeps throwing big money at luxury presents just because of brand names. It's sweet that she's trying hard, but I hope she learns that she's spending a lot of that money paying for a name and not necessarily paying for quality or function. I'm stuck on. She wrapped decoy gifts? But you only had one gift to actually open? Such a recipe for disappointment. Just carry your money in your butthole like the rest of us. You didn't foo here, dude. Your ass sounds great. Your missus on the other hand needs to reel in on the spending and start listening to you when you tell her the things you do and don't like. For women here, never ever buy wallets for guys without literally just asking them what they want. Way too much room for. I hate this, but now I'm obliged to use it. It's one of the most personal items a guy carries every day. You get to know every millimeter of your wallet. Today I fucked up by giving BJ before a free lunch. It's been 30 minutes and I'm waiting in the hotel lobby. About an hour ago, I met up with a local guy the first matched with on Tinder. Tourist hotspots are rife with scammers looking to separate you from your wallet, or worse, kidnap, murder you. They've infiltrated hookup apps too, so I try to avoid them when using apps abroad. But this guy seemed nice. He studied in the US. We talked about places we were both familiar with. He wrote English fluently. He was super hot, and he didn't seem like he would murder me. On top of that, he offered to buy me lunch at his favorite osteria near my hotel before the BJ I promised him. So I thought, why not? I met him in the hotel lobby to chat a bit and we hit it off really well. After a brief conversation, I decided to move forward with the plan. I headed back to my room to grab my jacket and bag. He was a gentleman and waited outside in the hallway. As we headed down to the lobby, he simply couldn't stop touching me in the elevator. As the elevator reached the lobby, he decided he couldn't wait for the promised BJ. So we headed right back to my room. I sucked the living daylights out of him as a thank you for the lunch he was gonna buy me. Afterwards, he needed to run to his car to feed the meter. I told him I'd wait for him in the lobby right after I clean off my face. He gave me a thumbs up and headed out. That was about 35 minutes ago and here I am, still waiting, writing to pass my time. Maybe he had an emergency. Maybe something terrible happened to him on the way. I messaged him on the app to make sure, but he hasn't replied. Maybe he parked really far? I'll start playing spelling bee to kill some more time. If I queen bee before he returns or messages back, I'll just take the L and buy my own goddamn lunch. Too long did not read. I gave a hookup BJ before he took me to lunch, like he promised, and he disappeared on me right after I sucked him to utter exhaustion. I'm still waiting for him to come back after he feeds the parking meter, 10 out of 10 hopeful that there is still such a thing as a free lunch in this world. I think he gave you your lunch. This cannot be real. Nobody would be this naive. I hate to be the one to tell you this, but if you're meeting a person and agree to a BJ in exchange for lunch, that's not a hookup, that's sex work. Edited to remove gendered language. Dude, quite spamming this subreddit with your idiotic erotic fanfiction. It's embarrassing and obviously made up. There's already enough made-up stories about sex saturating this sub. We'd be well off without your posts. Hey, wanna do lunch? I think the BJ, the result of it, was the lunch. I press my thumbs for you though. Also quick check. You alive with both your kidneys still? Today I fucked up by asking my partner about the ingredients in his drink. So I, 22F, have been dating my partner, 23M, for almost 2 years. We're very close and comfortable with each other, basically best friends in a relationship. We were invited to my best friend's birthday gathering. We bowled, talked, laughed, overall had a great time together, especially because money has been tight as he's been saving for a new car, and it felt like we were on a fun date together. Until I asked him what was in his drink. I like to have regular conversations with my boyfriend about anything. I didn't think it was gonna be a bad thing to ask him what was in his drink. He customized it and I just wanted to know because I love taking chances to get to know him better even though we're already very close. He's a pretty closed book. I know personal stuff about him, but most of the time he doesn't like opening up. But when he was reluctant to talk to me about his drink, I was confused, and honestly thought he was joking with me. He's a really big jokester and usually does this before he's serious and answers my questions, but he wasn't joking. So I got even more confused. This is a simple alcoholic drink. I was wondering why it was such a big deal to him, but didn't want to gaslight him or make him feel like he had no right in wanting to keep that to himself. I wish he had just told me flat out that he didn't want to say, it was just 3 things. We started to go back and forth after he told me, and I was asking why he was serious about not wanting to tell me when it was just a simple drink. He said that it was just this one thing he felt like keeping to himself and that he didn't understand why I was behaving the way I was. He said that I didn't see the way I acted, I didn't see the look on my own face, the tone in my voice, etc. I honestly sometimes am not aware of the faces I'm making or my tone, so he could have been right, but honest to God I was just a little astounded by the situation. I asked an innocent question and we're very close partners, so him not wanting to tell me felt like a joke at first, but when it turned into a little argument I was like, okay, what's happening? I felt bad, but I was still really confused. He told me that he was embarrassed by me. By the fact that I didn't back off. And that I ruined it. And I tried my best to hold back tears sitting there at the bowling alley. I can respect that he wanted to keep it to himself, but he could have flat out told me instead of beating around the bush and just saying, drink, or making little drinking hand gestures. I mean, it's a drink. It tasted good. I just wanted to know what was in it. We ended up leaving early. My choice because I asked him if he wanted to leave and he said, do whatever you want, and I didn't want to keep him in a situation that felt bad and awkward. And I tried to talk to him in my car. He thought that I was trying to get him to change his mind about his feelings on the drink. But I promised I wasn't trying to do that. I just wanted to understand him better because, again, I was confused. He'd never done anything like that before. It seems to me that he doesn't really like talking about anything. When I said that, he told me that he was just going to let me say, whatever stupid shit I was going to say and not respond, because he was done. So, I guess I fucked up, right? I started to really blame myself because I have mental health issues, specifically emotional dysregulation, that I'm in therapy for and medicated for, and I internally started to tell myself that this only happened because I have problems and can't control myself. But honestly I was just really confused. I don't know how to feel about it. Edit. Since so many people are dying to know, it was vodka, lime juice and ginger soda. Too long did not read. I asked my boyfriend what was in his drink, but he wanted to keep it to himself and we ended up arguing because I thought it was confusing and absurd and he told me I ruined it. Well, what's in the fucking drink? Sometimes I feel somewhat immature in my personal relationships. Then I see posts like this and no longer feel immature, thank you. Side perspective. I briefly dated a woman who was very enthusiastic about getting to know a lot of details about me. For a bit it was nice to have someone genuinely interested in me, but it didn't take long for me to feel like I was constantly being interrogated. However, the solution was for me to communicate that sometimes I don't feel like talking about it, and I later told her she doesn't take my boundaries seriously and I'm not interested anymore. He needs to communicate better, bottom line, especially after the stupid shit comment. Secondarily, if you two can reconcile, it would be a good time to talk about each other's boundaries. If he is already a closed person, he may just stuff his feelings down if he feels like he is uncomfortable. Sounds like he has issues.